Peter was enjoying himself with his pals when Lois called him, reminding him of the chores he was supposed to do. Peter complained about how Lois made him do those tedious chores. Joe chipped in that even Bonnie was not behind. The boys felt as if they had become slaves to their respective wives. Quagmire suggested they must do something exciting to reclaim their freedom, like going on an adventurous road trip. Soon, the guys haughtily informed the girls about their road trip. However, the gals were glad that they could have some time for themselves. Peter added that they were going to the party capital of America, New Orleans. The guys could imagine the fun things they could do in that happening place. As they entered Georgia, the four clowns began to babble about Hitler, and suddenly Cleveland realized that they were wandering in an unknown place quite off the highway. Cleveland warned them that the deep south parts in the back were quite dangerous. Suddenly a police car chased them, and Peter pretended to be a posh northerner wearing a Harvard t-shirt and puffing a cigar. The southern police officer claimed that their headlight was out, and with a baton he smashed one of their headlights. Next, he stated that the turn signal wasn't working, and he smashed the turn light as well. Joe intervened, explaining that even though he was a cop, the boorish officer demanded to see his badge and tossed it roughly into the woods. The corrupt cop went beyond and even planted drugs in the car trunk and then charged the four of them for being drug peddlers. The four pals were driven to Dungarees County work camp. The guys were in for a fortnight in a strict disciplinary life. When they tried to act smarter, an officer thwarted Cleveland to terrify Peter, but the dimwit didn't stop until he was poked in the abdomen. Meanwhile, the girls were having the time of their lives with lazy chatter and drinks. The guys toiled day and night, sometimes merrily and sometimes miserably. The 2 weeks flew by, but to their agony, their sentence was extended to 30 days, and an oldie revealed that once one arrived in that dreary place, they were never allowed to leave. The four made a plan to break out. Joe pretended to fall from his wheelchair, crying for help. However, the policemen averted their gazes, otherwise they had to help. That bought the guys 15 minutes to break free. Soon, they climbed up a lorry and then entered a lone house where Quagmire found keys to unlock their shackles and handcuffs. Unfortunately, the house belonged to the corrupt sheriff, who discovered them in the closet. And as the four pals ran for their lives, they were surrounded by police mobiles. Still, they ran in another direction and hopped on a train that led them to Quahog. The Southern Terriers were waiting for them at the Quahog station as well. However, Joe stepped forward and reminded them that they were in his territory now. He shot the sheriff in the leg and reminded him that he took an oath to protect and serve the citizens and not to bully or harass them. Peter was back home safe and merry with his family, and soon they engaged in their usual funny, incomprehensible jabber.